Hello my friends. Today we're going to make a wobbler card using this little guy called a wobbler, which has a little spring in it to make your little image move. So I'll show you how to use it on this card. So I'm starting out by cutting out images from that designer paper. This is from Imaginis, it's an older paper. And then I'm going to just glue these pieces together on some white cardstock. Very simple to do. And I'm going to make just a little pattern here. Now you can use this on any image that you want to use and have it have that motion and wobbling effect. But here I just decided to use these images because the person I'm giving this card to is having a music themed anniversary party. So I'm going to cut this out so that they are all connected, as you can see, on that cardstock. And this will be what wobbles on the inside. But before we do the wobbler portion, we're going to make a window on the outside of my card. So I'm just marking a little bit where and the approximate size of the window that I want on the front of my card. And I'm just going to speed through this. I just used my ruler T-square just to do some basic measuring and to make I believe it turned out to be a 1 by 1 square on the front of my card. So nothing fancy here, just some basic measuring. And I'll be erasing these lines later, so I'm just drawing them very lightly. So now I have my square, and then I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just cut out that square very easily. I could have used a punch, but it wouldn't reach into this deep into the card, so I had to use my knife. But square, simple enough, so there it is cut out, and here I'm just cleaning up those lines. Keep it nice and clean. Okay, so now we're going to get stamping, and here I'm just marking where that window is, so I have a marker on the inside of the card. Before we stamp, here I'm making the window. This is some sheets I got from Stampin' Up. They sell them in 8.5 by 11 sizes, but you can also use cellophane bags that you may have, or some baggies you get from your packaging of stamps. And I'm just going to use my Tombow multi-purpose adhesive around the edge of this window, and I'm going to glue it on the inside. And I'm not too concerned of how it looks on the inside, but if you are worried about it, you can cover this up if you like. It dries clear, so right now it looks kind of messy, but once it's dry it doesn't look so bad. So there's my window, and now we're going to start stamping. So I'm using this background set from Lawn Fawn called Itty Bitty Backdrops, and I'm going to put the window back in the part I cut out to protect the cellophane, and then I'm going to stamp right over that window, and I'm using, I believe it's basic gray ink from Stampin' Up, and I'm pressing firmly there, as you can see, and then you can see the little window popped out, and I was able to stamp around it without getting it on the window portion. And then now I'm going to stamp the sentiment. This is the Happy set from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm using Pumpkin Pie ink from Stampin' Up, and Midnight Muse, also from Stampin' Up, which is a dark blue. So I'm stamping the first word in the pumpkin pie orange color, and then the second word, anniversary, here, right underneath. And now I'm just taking this Imaginis paper and I'm cutting a little strip of it, and then I'm going to just glue that down just to add and tie in all the colors and kind of ground my sentiment there. So I'm just going to glue that on, and then it was a little bit long and I just trimmed off that little excess. So now it's time to get to the wobbler portion. So I want that middle image to be in the window, so I tried to mark it as best as I could, but as you'll see at the end, I don't line it up perfectly. The wobbler is a little bit hard to line up with the image. But here's the wobbler. It just has a little thin strip of paper on it on one side. So you just peel that off and now it's sticky. So I stick the wobbler to my card where I want it. So now it's stuck. And then I peel off the liner on the top portion of the wobbler, and that exposes adhesive. So this was the tricky part. Now I have to line up my image onto the wobbler, and it's really, really sticky. There's no wiggle room here, no pun intended. So I just did the best I could to line it up, but now you can see it's off a little bit in the window, but it still looks all right. But as you can see, now it wobbles on the inside. So it's just a fun little interactive detail. So now I'm just going to add a little bit more stamping on the inside. This is from Amy Tangerine called Love Struck, and it just says "You Rock." So I just thought that was appropriate, so I added 2 of those stamps on the inside. So that completes this wobbler card. I hope you have fun with it and you try these wobblers out for yourself. They're available. You can see a link on my description below and my blog. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.